Welcome to the Hyperbeat Podcast. Each episode, we chat with fitness professionals to get the story behind the business they created.
Welcome to the Hyperbeat Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Tate. We're very, very lucky today to be joined by Julio Gutierrez from CrossFit Hurakan. Julio, welcome, mate.
Thank you very much, Nick, and thank you for having me today.
No worries. Thank you for taking the time to come in and visit us. We really appreciate it, mate. Riding your bike all the way from Preston, was it? Or Reservoir?
Yeah.
Reservoir.
Yeah, Reservoir.
Yeah, very
Actually,
good.
it's a nice bike path. If you take the uphill bike path, it's actually a nice ride. So.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day today.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to ride in?
It was like 45 minutes.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
It's also a little bit of downhill, so going back is always
That
a
means
little bit
it's uphill
harder.
on the way back. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, like I said, we're very lucky to have you in today, and we're here to talk about your CrossFit gym and your journey through fitness as well. Mate, like we always do, we love to start with the origin story. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from. You're obviously from Venezuela, we were chatting before, and you've come through to Australia. So
Yeah, no, I mean, it's me and my wife, we arrived here in Australia, specifically Melbourne, in 2010. And if you had asked me the time that we arrived that I will be running a fitness business, I will have told you.
what were you doing? What was your background when you
No,
arrived?
I mean, originally was an IT guy, a web developer.
Mhm. Okay.
And I have been doing that for decades already. So, and then we arrived here. Obviously, we worked hard to get into the job market in Melbourne, and then it was business as usual in terms of what I did for a living, right? But at some point, I just realized that I was kind of spending the best years of my life just sitting on the desk watching a screen.
Yeah, watching the clock tick by.
And it's hard. It's a hard realization, and it also, I mean, I'm not going to be like ungrateful to the IT gig. It was great, but I just reached a point where I really needed a change, and a radical change in that sense, right? And I remember that at one of my last freelance gigs, I was just sitting to a coworker, and I was just typing some code, and I just turned around and told him, "Man, I can't do this anymore. I need to do something different."
Hit you one day.
Yeah. So, and then I spoke to my wife, and I told her, I'm going to just go for a career change because I'm not enjoying this anymore. And the first thing that came to my mind was how unhealthy my sedentary lifestyle had taken me to a point, right? So at that point, I thought, well, it will be nice to have a career to do something that wouldn't require me to spend a lot of time sitting around, that I could actually move. Yeah, and at that point, a career in fitness seemed like a good choice for that particular goal, right? And obviously, it was very funny to be the only guy inside the classroom when I was getting my certificate 4 in personal fitness to weight 132 kilos.
Wow.
But at the same time, I think it was kind of a statement of what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So after I got my certs, I began to try for a job but at the same time, because it's kind of a big change a big career change, was kind of hard. And at the same time, I began to think about, well, if I'm switching careers, then I might as well switch a little bit my mindset in terms of why would I want to be an employee anymore at that point. Then I began to think about having my own gym, and that was the point when I found CrossFit. Okay, because I heard of it at a couple of courses that I did after I got my certs, and I began to ask myself, well, what is it? I keep hearing about it more and more, and I searched for the closest CrossFit gym at that point, and the closest gym from home, and I found this one in Orchid, and I just began to train them with them, and I just fell in love with the methodology, with the community, with all that was involved in terms of pushing yourself beyond the limit that you think you have. Okay, because it's a great realization when you learn that you can do a lot more than you that what you will think in physical terms. Yeah.
So did you hit it pretty hard? Like, did you go into it and immediately do 5 days a week, or did you go slow and do 1 or 2?
Yeah, actually, no. I actually started just going like 3 times per week.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but because of the results.
How quickly did the weight start to drop away?
I mean, it's like I shed 20 kilos in less than a year.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And then at that a little bit before that, I said, okay, I think I have now the energy and the proficiency to do this 5 days a week, and I started doing that exactly.
Did you change your eating as well?
For that, like half of that, because my maximum weight loss was 46 kilos.
Wow,
yeah, when
huge.
I was around those 20 kilos, I wasn't even paying attention to what I ate.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but at that point, I thought, okay, let's tune up things a little bit in terms of food. And what I did was kind of making like common sense choices. Okay, I tried to reduce the amount of processed food. I didn't abide to any specific regime like paleo, keto, or anything like that. I just began to have more veggies,
more awareness, I guess, about what you're putting in your mouth.
Exactly, because it's surprising how much food you can eat that's just packed with sugar and you don't realize.
Yeah, okay.
And then I began to read about the nutritional facts on food, and I was more aware of what I was eating, and just that little fact was enough to lose like another 20 plus
that's
weight.
incredible.
Yeah.
Man. It's really incredible.
So that's pretty much how it started.
So at what point did you set about finding your own or setting up your own CrossFit gym, and how did that process actually come to fruition?
Well, at that point where I was going like five days a week, I realized that this must be just super cool to just do this for a living, right? And I had just gotten my certificates, and so I went for the level 1 course to get my level 1 CrossFit trainer cert, and that was the point where I said, well, I think I might open one of these things, and I wonder what would that take. And we began to, and I say we because at that point I spoke with who will be my first business partner. He actually departed very early in the business relationship because he got a very nice job offer.
Okay.
And he told me, well, I can't do this anymore. And that
You had
happened
to make a decision,
way before we got like the first year in business. But my idea was to start with the lowest cost possible was we actually rented space inside a martial arts studio. Okay, and I'm telling you that CrossFit Hurakan actually started like in less than 50 square meters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was to remember those days. It's super fun because we will run our classes and it will be like this whatever we could squeeze in there,
yeah.
safely.
Yep.
And then we will be in our little corner inside the gym, and then next to us, we will have this children karate class running at the same time, and so yeah, it was kind of a funny image to think of.
So how did you get that relationship with the martial art gym to
I
start?
just began to knock doors around the area.
So pretty much cold calling.
Yeah. And pretty much.
Yeah.
And then we found this this martial arts studio in Preston. It was called Joshin Martial Arts Studio, run by Alex Castamonitis. This guy is just amazing. He was so open to the idea, and then we outfitted our corner, and then we started up. It was actually when we got enough members to move into our own factory. It was kind of sad to depart because this is a super cool guy, and yeah, it was kind of hard to say. Well, man, we're moving out.
You're getting too big, time to move. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's day one. Did you have clients immediately, or how did you build up that client base?
That took actually a little bit of time to build up.
Yeah. So how did you go about building that up?
Well, it was trying to let everybody that we knew at the moment
friends and family initially.
And family.
Yep.
That was pretty much the way it started.
Yep.
Those friends and family actually brought some other members. Okay, and then when my business partner had departed. Long after that, long before that, sorry. But when I reached like a critical point of okay, I think we can actually apply for a lease of our own. Then I found this pretty cool new factory that was kind of 10 minutes on my bike.
Fantastic.
from home.
Yep.
And it was like brand new. It's to what CrossFit gym standards are now, you might find it that's not especially big because it's no more than 140 meters, but it's still like I think what I like to say is that we're coming back to what CrossFit was originally conceived to be, like a garage gym.
Yeah, cool.
Only with a little bit more space and a bit of cool equipment around. Yeah, it's but yeah, that was how we moved out of it.
So when you left that space in the gym, how many members did you have roughly then? Do you remember?
Yeah, we were around 20 people.
Okay, and what are you up to today?
Right now, we have registered around 60 members.
Oh wow! Okay.
So and it's still a small community, to be honest, but it's on the past few months we've been growing steadily, and more and more people are actually telling
Getting
others.
The word out there.
Yeah, getting word out, and we're getting a little bit more savvy in terms of promoting ourselves through social media.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So you Facebook, Instagram. What are you using to do that?
Yeah. The main thing will be at the moment a combination of Instagram and Facebook. Right. I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard to do all this by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
so
at the moment,
content,
yeah.
Yep.
Because doing it by yourself, it's kind of a hard thing because you have to create content, then you have to schedule the content to get out. That alone can take a lot of time, and especially if you want to do it right. Okay. Because at some point, my wife is also a graphic designer. Okay. Yeah, and
she's
very handy. It is very handy. She actually created all our brand.
Yep. Great.
And graphic image. And I think we both share a passion for putting out content that's actually that actually feels like quality content. Okay, because sometimes it's very easy to just snap a picture and it doesn't matter. People don't care if it's like a nice picture that's going to reflect what's actually happening at the gym or.
Well, there's an argument for quality and just volume, I guess, of content that you're getting out there. So there's an argument for just taking those photos and putting them up and posting 3 or 4 times a day. And there's also what you're trying to do, which is create more detailed content, I guess, and posting fewer times.
So at the end of the day is I think you have to find good balance between both. Okay, because I've seen some other businesses that I mean they might and I'm not talking just about fitness, that I mean they have such a good product to share, but what they share on social media doesn't reflect how good it is. And that's the reason I think you have to find that balance. Obviously, if you are doing everything by yourself, it's going to be quite a task. But at the same time, you have to find what works best for you in that sense, without trying not to bring it down too much in terms of the quality of what you want to show the world. Yeah.
Okay. So are you experimenting with any paid advertising on those channels or platforms?
Actually, we started to let's say a bit of an alliance with a group of very experienced people in this sense. Okay, so we can say that we collaborate in terms of what it's organic and paid advertising, and that is what's working best for us, and it has worked really, really well in the past 6 months. So
in terms when you say it's worked really well, has that meant more clients through the door or more engagement, or
totally.
How have you been measuring that?
Totally. The way we measure it is simply that we're getting more people actually knocking our doors.
Oh, great.
And wanting to find out what do we do. Okay, because which can be quite challenging in some areas in the city, and I think north of Melbourne, in that particular area, Preston Reservoir, is actually one of those areas that's beginning to understand us, and I'm talking about CrossFit Hurakan, understand what we do and why we're different from your regular 24/7 gym. Okay. And it's a challenge, a big one, to let people in these areas learn and understand why our methodology, our program is actually probably the best one that you could get in the whole area. So.
And so they're coming on board with what you're trying to promote?
At the beginning, some people try. Obviously, they're quite skeptical because what they might have heard about CrossFit, but once they have actual contact with what we do, being it through a free trial or just to signing up for a membership. At the beginning, they understand, this is something that I can actually do.
Do you offer like a free 1-week trial to get people through the
What
door?
we do is, at the moment, we offer a free trial.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, a free class, and then any person will be able to join the regular class, which I find amazing because when I take new people in for a free trial, what I try for them is to realize not only that they're able to do the workout that we have planned for the day, being it scaled or not, they also realize how diverse our community is, because you can find, ladies 60 years old not doing this. You can find teenagers doing it as well. You can find whoever can cross your mind training in the same room at the same time, doing this workout, and everybody's doing their best. And for a new person to realize that, it's quite a wow. I mean, if she can do it, maybe I can do it as well. And at the same time, and personally as a coach, and this is something that most people don't realize about a CrossFit gym, but normally CrossFit coaches are really annoying in terms of technique. I wouldn't put it any other way. Yeah, because we want to keep people safe, and we also want to we want our athletes to get to the closer to the fullest potential, and you only get that if you do the movements, the exercises, the workouts as prescribed, as close to perfection as you can. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so you open 3 days a week, is that right? Or are you full?
No, we actually open from Monday to Saturdays at the moment, and during the weekdays we have more than 20 classes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and we also have Saturday morning classes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so at the moment it's quite flexible. Mm-hmm. So it's we have been trying to offer people time slot that works for them in one way or another.
And are you finding that's early in the morning, late in the evening?
Yeah. Early in the morning. Our earliest at the moment is 6 a.m.
Okay.
However, some people have actually expressed their interest of having a 5 a.m. class.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah. Very driven people,
You'll be taking that class?
Well, now that we're beginning to grow a little bit more, it's very likely that we're going to have like some other coaches other than myself. Yeah. And in fact, we already have a part-time coach. And also, we're not, at this point, we're not running just CrossFit at the gym. We're also running a new high-intensity interval training called Strong.
Okay.
A new program, a new HIIT.
I think I've heard of that actually. Strong.
Called Strong.
Yep.
It's a product by the people that created Zumba.
Okay.
But it's not related to dancing in any sense. And I think if you get into a strong class thinking that it's a Zumba class, you're going to be more than concerned about what's happening, because this is actually intensive gymnastics with a mix of kickboxing, everything to the beat of a tune, but it's still a very, very demanding workout that's going to give you a run for your money. Personally, I like to combine it with what I do in CrossFit, because it's just amazing to build aerobic capacity. So yeah, but obviously our main product is still CrossFit. Yeah.
So future plans for CrossFit Hurakan?
Well,
world domination.
Yeah. I like to say that I'm preparing our community to survive the zombie apocalypse. Yeah. So yeah, that's as good as a goal as any. But right now, I think the next big step that we're going to take is while our operation has awoken the interest of some people that's actually interested in investing in us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they like what we're doing. They like our story. They like our community, how passionate they are. And they would like to kind of get in, make an investment, so we can actually probably take CrossFit Hurakan to the next level.
So are you thinking multiple locations, or are you just expanding what you're currently working
both.
through? Yeah.
Mainly both. The current gym, we want to take it to a much higher level in terms of membership. Offer classes through the day.
More staff,
and probably some other programs apart from CrossFit and Strong. But once we achieve that, my main goal will be like having another location, and it will be nice around north of Melbourne, because in terms of how the city is growing. Yeah,
it's
north
a huge
Melbourne,
corridor.
it's huge over there now, and heaps of new developments. Train lines have expanded in the past 2 years.
Yep.
Suddenly,
So population is pushing out there.
Yeah, totally. And I think as most people try to find a way of living that doesn't involve coming to the city or moving too far away from home, it will make sense for us to see if we could open a new location in the mid to long term.
Yeah, well.
To serve those areas further up north. That's what I would like to happen. Okay, and if we seal partnership with the investors that have shown interest in what we do, well, it's very likely that might happen. So yeah,
it's an amazing goal to have, considering a few years ago you've just come to Australia and now you're already thinking about your second location for your CrossFit gym. It's a very, very cool story. So if people want to follow your journey and maybe get involved with your gym, how do they go about finding you and following you? What's the best avenue to that?
Yeah, no worries. I mean, you can find us at crossfithurakan.com.au. That will be, let me see if I can spell it. CrossfitHurakan.com.au.
And mate, a quick story behind the name Hurakan.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people ask about that when we started, because the martial arts studio was a karate studio. They thought that it was some Japanese word.
Okay.
But Hurakan is actually the Mayan god of storm. Yeah. So, and I love the story about him, and well, this is supposed to be like this demigod that has one leg is actually a tornado on him, and yeah, I mean, if you search about Hurakan on Google, you will get some very crazy depictions.
Photos.
Yeah, crazy depictions of how this god looks like. I mean, I like to tell everyone that this is kind of a Latin American Thor in terms of commanding of the elements and that sort of stuff.
Awesome. And the social media platforms, so Facebook and Instagram?
Yes, yeah, you can find us on Facebook with the same name, CrossFit Hurakan. And Instagram, CrossFit Hurakan as well. And you can also follow my personal account where I also post some fitness tips and anything along with the CrossFit Hurakan channels. You can find my personal one at Go on Instagram. So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mate, thank you very much for taking the time to come in. It's always interesting to watch people try and get their life story inside of 30 minutes. So it's awesome to sit here and be part of that conversation. So thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you very much for inviting me.
No problem, mate. All the best with your future endeavours. And yeah, thanks again for coming in.
Thank you, Nick.
If you'd like to be involved in an episode of the Hyperbeat Podcast, send an email to info@hyperbeat.com.au or contact us through our social media channels.